So the funniest part was after Trump's win, some women are considering the 4B movement, the Japanese movement, which or Korean, I believe. We've talked about it. It's coming here. Girls are tough. So I'm not buying it.
Yeah, it's only the gross ones.
I don't think it's going to take.
It's only the gross ones. They're just kind of like, we're not having sex.
We have pandered and begged for men's safety, and done all the things we're supposed to, and they still hate us, says 36-year-old. She told CNN, if you're going to hate us, then we're going to do what we want. So these are people that were probably writing. And
by the way, this is, I looked into this quite extensively. In Korea, this is an incredibly fringe movement. Okay. This isn't like, you know, when you read these articles in New York Times, they're like, everybody,
like MGTOW for girls.
Yeah, but they're like, every woman in Korea is doing this. They're like, no, they're not. Okay. This is super fringe. And even in their defense, the 4B movement started because there was like a fucking like a PCAM epidemic in Korea where dudes were wiring up toilets and everything, and like there was cameras.
That's why I always think it's funny because girls, they always, when they go to the bathroom, they always turn the tap on so you don't know they're shitting. But it's like, I already have cameras everywhere.
We're live streaming this right now. Okay, so you're kind of fucking with our audio. Can you turn the goddamn thing off? Turn the tap off. Sounds like shit.
But it's a fringe movement.
But it's a fringe movement. But even in Korea, you're like, it started as like even a reasonable thing where they're like, yo, this is like crazy. You know, they're like, there's cameras everywhere that are just filming us nude and doing all this stuff. And it had become like kind of normalized. Like it was like a real problem. So then this was like, you know, an actual issue.
Is that really what it was? Just like, if you go to Korea, it's just like guys walking around, cameras on every shoe. Just
yeah, honestly, that's the 4B movement like started. That was a big.
Guy looks like the Michelin Man, like walking around getting doing the Google Street View.
What was the camera that they did the Matrix on? Remember, like the wall of cameras. You just have like the suit of all just cameras, you know, or whatever, just walking around, just like. But you know, so anyway.
Everywhere you go, it's just guys coming out from underneath women's beds, like they're coming, like a mechanic coming out of a car.
Yeah, it's just like a creep panopticon, just everywhere, you know. And but it started for like a reasonable thing, and they had like all these domestic violence stuff. It wasn't just like, oh, we don't like the president.
Yeah,
like it wasn't that.
Well, again,
they had real grievances.
On top of that, it's like, I don't know how many times do I have to tell you, your blame is to be laid on white women.
Yep.
Latino men.
And there was also
Native Americans.
And there was only white women who were doing that.
White women. It's like, maybe, do I have to get the mirror back out? I don't want to be carrying around a mirror every second with me, but.
The Simpsons, don't make me tap the mirror.
Don't make me tap the fucking mirror.
Yeah.
She goes, you're going to stop having sex with guys? I go, hey, I got someone you should meet.
Here's what it is. I guess ladies, shave your heads and hopefully they'll donate the hair to cancer patients.
There we go.
Yeah.
That's always sort of a funny one when girls are like, to protest, I'm going to get uglier.
Yeah. Okay. You're like, it's one of those things. I was like, who is this hurting?
I'll tell you who this is actually hurting, because I was thinking about that exact question.
Other than themselves.
Well, I have an answer to that, because I was thinking about this where, even in the context of rubbing it in a little bit, when people are rubbing it in, it was kind of making me think, you go, who's this actually hurting? Like you said, you go, girls are doing all this stuff, I'm going to get uglier. It is hurting the boyfriends of these women.
Yeah.
Because she's getting online and she, you know, someone posts like some really, really incendiary stuff, whatever the word is.
Yeah.
And then she's obviously can't do anything. So she goes home to her husband, and if they have 2 kids, she shaves her head and she goes, I'm protest.
4B.
Yeah. So I think that he goes, you're 4B. You're 4 fucking T tons.
4B bills. Yeah, you are fucking 4B. I've kind of been meaning to bring that up.
He does the whistle. RFK has to fucking show up.
It's kind of why I voted for Trump, to get the fucking you healthy again. To be honest, it's not really working.
But I think the answer to the question is, obviously it doesn't really help anyone, because you're just like, you go, if someone removes themselves from the job pool, you know, you go, who does that hurt? It doesn't hurt the customer.
No, it doesn't hurt the customer.
You know, if you remove yourself from the dating pool, it doesn't hurt the customer. I guess there's like a fringe amount where you go, there's less women in the dating pool, allegedly, or something like that. So I guess that
but those weren't like top prospects.
Wasn't top prospects. But
you know, it's like a guy who plays in like winter ball retiring, and you go, yeah, it's We'll be fine.
But there's a guy that has been dating a girl for like 7 years. Maybe they have a kid. Maybe they're married. And the wife is like fired the fuck up right now,
sucks.
being like men are the worst, and this and that, stomping around the house, in a way that
he comes home, her head's shaved.
He comes out, her head shaved. She's stomping in a way like she goes to the bathroom. And you're like, could you be quieter? It's like, you want me to take up less space? Like, the girls that are dating, guys that are dating feminist mom, that is the one, that's the real victim in this election. The guy who's dating the woman who got real fired up.
Yeah, but then there's also a lot of guys who are like, maybe would have matched up with one of these chicks and they've dodged that bullet.
So that's true. I would say the alternative of that is if you were probably dating a guy that got like real deep into like Trump and like right-wing conspiracy stuff, where you can't talk about anything without that coming up. You know what I mean? Like, you can't just be like, oh, did you see that news show? And everything has to be, you're like, I can't just have a conversation with this guy anymore without everything's politics.
True.
I would say that, this would be the version of that.
I mean, there is like the whole thing where women are like, yeah, I'm divorcing my husband now. He voted for Trump.